One of the lessons we learned in our last Olympics from an administrative and operations level is that we have to change a few of the, actually a number of things which we do before the Olympics. One of them is to assist us as a country to start looking at Olympics as a process and not an event. A lot of the focus has been on the final 16 or so days when the top athletes, about 10,000 of them, participate in the Olympics. But before then, millions of athletes across the world make attempts through qualification rounds, through competitions to be able to qualify. And that is where a lot of our problem have come, because a lot of our athletes, especially in the non-athletics event, they're not able to get opportunities to qualify. One, because they start the qualification process very late. Alternatively, the environment, the infrastructure does not accommodate them. And on a long-term process, it's obviously to improve the infrastructure within the country, where when we talk of racket sports, ball sports, or things like aquatic sports like swimming, we have the best infrastructure spread across the country. It's unfortunate that we've had our top athletes first use of international level of infrastructure being at the top level competition. While in the other economies or in the other countries, these are just things which they interact with right at the beginning. First, when they are young, and secondly, for some, when they are starting the sports, so they get to experience to use them. We found that the medium and short term is to go into partnerships. One of the strategic objectives for us in this period, and as we prepare ourselves for Paris 2024, is to enter into strategic partnerships which assist us in terms of the areas where we are weak. We've identified France for natural reason that it's where we are going to have the Paris 2024 Olympics. And we've been looking out on possible places, possible cities, possible towns which we can partner with. And we are very happy that we've had several visits to Miramas in the southern part of France, and they have expressed their willingness and they're excited about going into partnership with us to get several opportunities for our athletes. Topmost will be a pre-Olympics camp where we'll send all those who will have qualified for Olympics several weeks or a few weeks before the Olympics to go and train. This worked very well when we sent our athletes to Kurume. Obviously, we intended it to be much bigger, but because of the COVID pandemic, we had to restrict the number of days, the number of athletes who could travel. And that way, as much as it was a success for us, we feel we could have done much more. And this time we are planning to do it in a much better, in a bigger scale, to be able to send our Olympic team probably 40, 45 or 60 days in advance to go and prepare, to go and train, and even have warm-up matches before the Olympics. But before then, we are also in partnership to look at possible areas which we can start sending our athletes to France. The advantage of sending them is that once they go to train, they'll also be able to get top-level competitions. So assuming they go there for only 14 or 1 month every year, it means they go get training within excellent facilities, get exposure because they'll be competing, just like we see the Malkia Strikers do in Brazil. Every weekend they are playing top-level clubs, which for African standards, especially in certain sports, that's as good as it gets because you're competing with the top players, the top athletes in Europe, which is very, very good for us. So the intention of this second visit to France will be to go discuss and enter into a memorandum of understanding. Later next year, or probably the first quarter of next year, we hope to go into an agreement where we'll have all the parties involved. The city of Miramas, the region, and the athletic club of Miramas, our government, through the Ministry of Sports and the National Olympic Committee, so that with that particular partnership we can be able to offer opportunities for athletes. A specific area in which we are hoping to benefit will be technical support. Miramas has employed through its infrastructure a lot of top-level coaches who we hope can be available to support and work with our own coaches when we send our athletes to France. We also hope that they can also benefit in the areas where they feel they can be able to gain from Kenya by then sending their own technical team to come and work with us, especially in the athletics area where we are very strong and they would like to benefit. We also want to send our youth teams. As you all know, we are greatly focused on Dakar 2026 as a turning point for where we can be able to say Kenya can start becoming strong in the non-traditional area, and that's where we'll be exposing a lot of our youngsters to start preparing, to start training. We hope that we can get an opportunity for them to stay several weeks to get training and competition. Schools program, the city has expressed an interest in sending some of their school children to come to Kenya, and likewise we'll be identifying several schools in which we can be able to send them to go to France. The idea is beyond sports, that there'll be a cultural exchange program. Each of the children will learn from the others in terms of their culture, in terms of their language, and this will be good exposure for the children from both countries. And the other one will be infrastructure. As you know, we are looking at improving our youth center, the Olympic Africa Center, and we hope that the partnership through with Miramas can be able to give us that support.